Hey everyone, Ayush here, founder of FilterPixel. I hope you are able to hear me out. Let's wait for some amount of time while people join in. So this is going to be a very excited session because we are going to see how FilterPixel works, and I'm going to take you through the entire journey of the app in terms of how you create your first project to the point where you all can create your project, do the culling, and you know just save your time in whatever way you can. So this is my first live demonstrating myself the entire demo of the app, and I hope people will get a lot from it. When it comes to culling, there are a lot of issues that people face. So if you can hear me right now, right, like if you are there, if you are able to see this live, just drop me hi, or just let me know that you're able to hear me out, you're able to see me. And right now I'm actually live streaming from India, and it's like 12:32 a.m. over here. So also just tell me in the comments specifically which time zone you are from, exactly what time is it for you, and from where are you watching this. So we are going to start in a while, and I'm just seeing here, I'm just seeing people joining in. I'm seeing there are a few people who have already joined in. Just checking, the comments and uh, okay, cool. So we are going to start in couple of minutes, right? We'll just be starting in couple of minutes, just waiting for all people to gather. So just let me know from where you are. Okay, we have Ankur. Hi Ankur, how are you? Neetu is from Canada. It's 4 p.m. out there. Hi Neetu, how are you doing? Okay, perfect. So there are a lot of people who have already joined, so we'll be not wasting much of the time. We'll be directly going to our live session, and we'll be demonstrating the entire workflow of FilterPixel today. So just give me a moment. Okay, here we go. So now I think it's more clear. The voice is more clear to you. And I'll be showing my screen today. Like I'll be showcasing, I'll be sharing my screen to you. And while doing the screen share, my major motivation, my major, teaching for you is to see how to use this FilterPixel app the most effective way, and how to cull your projects, not only, in terms of doing the AI culling, but in terms of project management as well, because the app is not only to help you out in culling faster, but also it organizes the things in a certain way that even if your client reaches out to you after some amount of time, asking you, what exactly, where are exactly my photos are, can you give me that file that you have clicked at that past event, it should be a one click for you to figure out where the file was. So what I will do right now, I'll just sharing my screen. I'll be sharing my screen. So give me a moment, please. So let me know if you can actually see my screen, and I'll be able to show you then how you should use the app. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, we have the app in front of us. And when you go to filterpixel.com and when you sign up, you'll end up with this app after the installation. The app is super simple. Currently, I have 3 projects in the app. They're like 700 images, 2000 images, and if you see at the bottom, it says you are on max plan, which means I'm on the most, highest tier, like the highest tier specifically. So I can do the selection, I can do the editing within the app. Now, on the right hand side of the screen, there are few things that help you out. One is your profile section. So if you click this profile section, you go inside the app and you're able to see everything related to your billing, everything related to your account. Now here it says how many photos you have culled so far. just see the number because I keep testing. So obviously these are not the photos that I have culled throughout the years in weddings, but these are the photos that also include the number of photos that I tested personally. And here it says the amount of time it saved, which is crazy, because every time you use the app, every time we check how much hours actually this must have taken if you have done it manually versus how much time the AI has taken, and we subtract that somehow. And our brilliant team, our AI team, has just figured out an algorithm to find out how to calculate the number of hours that you are saving for someone on the earth. So this is the amount of hours and minutes that you will see over here. Every time you do the project, the number will increase. Now, here is my tutorial. If you have seen this tutorial, well and good. If you haven't seen this tutorial, I'm here today and you can ask me any questions. So the first step to do is to create a new album, and it's super simple. You click a button, create a new album, and you put your photos. So whatever photos do you have, like you just create that project. Now there are workflows where people come with SD card full of photos from weddings or events, and the first thing I would suggest before you drag drop here is to backup, right? Like backup of that SD card anywhere. It can be a backup inside your SSD. So I use SSD of SanDisk, and I backup every single folder after the shoot is completed to that SanDisk. Now you can do the backups as your workflow is wherever you want, but do the backup before you start a project so that if anything goes wrong, even after the project, before the project, you always have a backup. So tell me if you actually do the backup or not, because I know there are a lot of people who don't do backups. They just come and they drag drop the SD card entirely, like photos from the SD card entirely. And sometimes the SD card behave weird. Like, just get this. Like, sometimes it's not your fault. It's just the SD card. So do the backups, first tip, and then drag drop the entire folder containing your raw files. So this folder contain the entire wedding, Emmy and Joe, wedding that was shot, back in the days, and then you open it here to create the project. So this is very simple. Sometimes it takes the name of the folder itself, but I prefer to rename it, in a way that I want to organize my project. So I say like Emmy and Joe or whatever. I want to name this project to, and here it says like what type of AI you want to choose. So there are like couple of AI here. So wedding and events, portraits, family portraits, sports, others. One of the questions that people keep on asking this is, which AI should I use if I shoot like X genre or Y genre? I would say you have to choose the closest, So if you are doing events, right? So there are a lot of going to be like group shots. So weddings and events comes together for us. So the AI is taking decisions over the basis of what kind of category you are choosing. But if you're doing portraits, which are generally we call headshots, right? So if you're doing headshots, right, you should go with portraits. But then family portraits is a bit different because it includes a lot of emotion, right? So family or portraits, we have to pick the right moments, like people coming together, people hugging, people putting their closing, their arms, hugging, having all those emotions, which are valuable in the family portraits. Then we have sports, specifically any sports. So we haven't classified sports much till now, but probably in future we will be able to classify sports into many categories. But for now, sports is one of those categories which you can pick if you shoot any kind of adventurous sports or any kind of sports, and that is the category that you should explore if you're doing either football matches or hockey or MMA fights, whatever it is. You just choose sports. Now for wildlife and nature photography, we say to pick others as one of the category, because nothing is currently closer to wildlife or on nature, so we go with others. But most of you either pick wedding events or portraits, which I already know. So I think we will start with wedding events today. So I pick wedding events and then I'll click start now. Now, unlike other apps that are present in the market, uh, which makes it so tough to like do 2 to 3 steps before you start your culling process. FilterPixel is designed on the principle of something that you can even teach to your mom, right? Like something so simple that even your mom can understand. So you click start now button, and then the process automatically gets started, like few seconds and you are done. So it's not based on like complexity. Like it doesn't make enough customizations, it doesn't give you much options at the very start. There are a lot of options if you use the app, and you will reach to a certain stage where you really need options, but at the very start it doesn't give you much options. So for example, like let's say I have this project with me today, right? So if you start now, if you click start now, it will start creating that project for you, and it will put all those images in front of you, and at the bottom bar it shows you how many images you are seeing currently. So when it says you are seeing 2895, I'll try to explain what does that mean. 2895 in view at the bottom, if you can see. Now, as you scroll down, right, if you're using Lightroom, if you are a Lightroom user before, Lightroom doesn't generate fast previews. So you have to wait for smart previews to get generated. But FilterPixel is so different. You click the photo and the preview is with you. So even if you're not liking the AI culling part, even if you think like, hey, AI culling is not actually what I want, but the preview is so fast, then even you can do the manual culling to it, right? Like it's not asking you to wait before it is getting the previews rendering. So unlike um, Lightroom, unlike other apps that we use for culling, which are not dedicatedly a photo culling software, I believe, FilterPixel is so fast in generating initial level of previews so that you can quickly go through the previews even manually before even it does the culling for you. We'll go back and we'll check what exactly the culling states looks like. It's 10% done. We have given 2,895 images, and generally, 15-20 minutes should be the ideal time to complete this process. If everything is going correctly, 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, 2,895 images done. Now, I already have a project in front of me, which I want to show you till the previous project completes, the job. So there are 705 photos I put into this project. FilterPixel Boost, which we launched recently. Currently, it's free, but probably in future it will come to a max plan, or you have to purchase it separately. But FilterPixel Boost is the algorithm which allocates specific resources for your projects so that they can cull fast, right? It's like a boost to your culling processes. So with FilterPixel Boost, when I culled this 705 photos, it took me 6 minutes, 5 seconds. If you can see the right inside of it, 6 minutes, 5 seconds, I'm done with 705 photos. Right? Can you believe this? Like in 6 minutes, I'm done with 705 photos. Now I will also show you what exactly the results look like. So in 705 photos, I got 528 photos selected, 33 rejected, and rest are duplicates. Now, there are a lot of queries that we keep getting every single day, which says, hey, you know what? I feel AI has not selected the amount of photos that I want. Like probably I want a bit lesser. I want a bit more. And obviously, as photographers, we need flexibility. According to our client, we have to fulfill the job. And if the client want more photos, we might go beyond what we really or generally offer. And if the client wants less photos, then we actually, make it very less. So once the culling is completed, as I told you, when we start, we don't give you much customization. We don't give you much options. But here on the right-hand side, when you click it, customize and restart culling, it gives you the options. It gives you the options of what kind of, uh, you know, strictness or leniency you want in this culling. Now, what kind of options they are? So there are 3 options currently: duplicate grouping, focus quality grouping, and eye quality grouping. Now, I'll explain them very easily. If you see on at the bottom, I don't know if it is visible or not, but at the bottom of a strict, it is written less selects. Every time it says strict, it's written less selects. which means if you choose strict as a mode, then the number of photos that are getting selected are going to be lesser. So it will compress, right? Like just think about that. You got 520 photos selected, but you just want 300 selected. What should you do? You set everything strict, right? Now, the more stricter you make it, the more shrink the culling would be, right? The more lenient you make it, the more number of photos will get selected and the broaden your culling would be. So just think about this. If you need more photos, everything needs to be lenient. If you think less photos, everything needs to be strict. Initially, it sets to moderate. Everything is moderate. So that means initially everything is going to be just like an AI will do it. It's not something that you want probably, but this is the way most of the people are using it, and that's the moderate setting that is given to you by default. Okay, a lot of talks before we move forward. We will just take and see if there are some specific questions on the group. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you a bit of like what kind of photos it is selecting and what kind of photos it is rejecting in a while. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll answer all the questions at the end as well. So we will be like taking like few questions at the end. Ankur says okay, well till now. Okay, perfect. So let's resume. Okay, so we are here and we have just given AI 705 photos. It gave us back 528 photos. It took 6 minutes, 5 seconds. Now, here is the time where we start the review process. The most important part in your AI culling workflow, the review process. Why? One, the review process help you to give what you want to your client rather than what AI is giving. So you take the control from AI assistant during the review process and you say, hey, I'm the boss. I will decide what exactly the selections would be. I will review what you did. And if you have done a great job, I will just pass it to my client. Otherwise, I'll make changes and you have to learn from it. So one is obviously you want to ship your selections to the client. And second, why the review process is important is because every time you review, every time it's an opportunity for the AI to learn what you want. So make sure your review process are very effective, strict, so that AI gets better and better as you use it. So let's start with the review process, and I'll show you a few ways to do the review process. The first one is very simple, layman way, like we call it brute force. So the brute force way is to do the review process. You go to the selected, you see I'm in the selected section. It is highlighted. It says 528 photos, very well highlighted. And the brute force way is to go quickly to all the photos that are selected and reject whatever you don't want. So I'll just go quickly. So I don't want this photo. I'll press X on the keyboard and it goes to my rejects. So I'll just quickly go through all the photos that I'm seeing, and whatever I don't need this, I'll just remove it. And I just quickly go through and keep removing the ones I don't need. So this is called the brute force approach. Now, if you make the brute force a bit smarter, what I mean by smarter, this means if I come across a photo, where I'm seeing that there are alternatives of that photo present. So currently, whatever photos I'm seeing in front of you, there are no alternatives of them. And even if they are bad, they're getting selected. But let's say this photo. Let's say this photo, right? Like AI might have done a mistake here. I don't know. I mean, probably it's not the best face. The brute force approach gives you a way to figure out whether you want this photo or not without even seeing what AI has left, like without jumping in these sections. You don't need to go here. Like no rejects, you don't need to check rejects. You don't need to check all. You don't need to go anywhere. You're just in selects, like very just looking at 524 photos. You're not looking at total 705 photos. But here's the catch. In 524 photos, when you are here, you have to take a decision on this photo based on the alternatives present on this photo. But the smartest way is to check whether this photo looks good to you or not by checking the face on the right side. So if you see the big face on the right side, and this photo is like obviously a portrait kind of shot, and obviously the face which is seeing on the screen is very big comparatively to the right hand side. But in general, when you take photos from a distance, this face on the full screen looks a bit smaller, and the face on the right side on the face view looks a bit larger. So just see the face first. Do you like the face? Do you like the expression? Do you like the person looking wherever? Well, if you are liking it, just move forward. No need to see the alternates. But in case you feel like I will not take this photo, let me check its alternate, you just press S on the keyboard and you get a good shot which you really want, not the one which AI has picked. AI can make mistakes. It's not 100% correct, but there should be a smarter way to figure out a right workflow. And the right workflow would be to just see the face on the right and then press a button if you don't like it to see the alternates. Now, I like this better, like rather than this. So I'll just mark it as reject, or I can untag it, mark it as duplicate by pressing U. I just press U on the keyboard. It is duplicate now. And I'll just say, I want to select this. And I come back. So it is added in my selects, right? So just thinking about a single step that you have added while you are at selects have saved 3 steps for you. You are not jumping between rejects. You are not exploring what was in duplicates. You are always in selects, and you are just going through all the photos in selects. You are seeing what is there on the right hand side as a face. You are checking if it is a good face or not. Do you want alternates? If you want alternates, you are exploring alternates. Otherwise, you are not even exploring alternates. So that is one learning that I want to give to you in the brute force approach. When you have decided that I want to review everything, right? The review process is a combination of survey mode, which is what I have shown you, where you can see the alternates, and then the faces that appears on the right side that helps you out to figure what exactly you need and what exactly you don't want. So this one, AI has picked it, and I will also tell you a bit more on how AI is picking it. Why it is picking some weird shots, like you might feel like, oh, it's too weird. Why it has picked this shot? So sometimes AI does not have choice, right? Like a single shot that you have clicked, and AI does not know whether that is an artistic shot or that is just like a testing shot. So for that reason, AI picks it and then marks it as a warning. So if you see the red sign over here, it says the image has minor issues, right? This particular image has some issues, but it's accepted because there is no alternative of this image. So the AI is trying to give you a message that, I don't know if there is an alternate of this particular image. So the only way I can, solve your problem of selection is to include it in my selections. And if you don't want it, remove it. But as an assistant, my responsibility is to make sure I can give you maximum coverage rather than minimum coverage. And that's the entire principle of the app, so that you don't miss something important. So if you see these signs on your photos, that means yes, your AI is getting trained pretty well. It knows what is a bad image, but at the same time, it doesn't know that you don't need that photo, or you need that photo because it can be an artistic photo. Now we will go through few photos which it has rejected, so that you understand the difference between a rejection. By the way, before we go there, I'll again check if we have some important questions. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Lisa is asking, are we able to rewatch this live later? Lisa, yes, I think like there will be some, there will be some snippets of the live that will be shared, right? I'm sure that if we are going to share the entire live, but I will definitely share some snippets with you. Okay, guys, if you have any questions right now, you can just keep asking on the chat. At the end of the session, I'll take the Q&A, right? Okay, so now we are seeing some photos, and I'm taking you uh towards the next step. So this is a weird photo, to be honest, like weird expression. So as I said, so just to highlight more on what I have covered so far, if you are seeing this photo, the first thing you have to do in the brute force approach is to figure out how are the faces looking on the right side. Four faces, everything looks good, everybody looks smiling, everybody is looking at the camera, looks like a good photo. Now it says 1 out of 2. Now obviously you have a curiosity to check what is the second photo, but believe me, if you want to balance between the productivity that you have, uh, you know and the curiosity, it's very important that you figure out the workflow where you can spend less time but can get better results. And if you are already seeing this photo and everything looks good, if everything here is perfect, why do you need to see the duplicates of it? Even if there are 15 duplicates of it, why do you want it, right? You definitely want 1 or 2 photos which look similar, and AI generally covers that. Similarly, if you see even these 2 photos, like a photo that is taken a bit from a back and the photo that is taken from big, like in front, AI covered both of them, so it is not going to miss shots. And you have, as you keep using the app, I think most of the people who are using it from a year or so have realized that as they are using it more, they're trusting it more, but initially they were checking every single part of it, right? So I understand, but to, as per my experience, if you're already seeing something uh, which you think is good and looking good on the faces on the right hand side, I don't think you need to go and look for alternate. For example, look at this. The AI selected five, like these people, and it might have made a mistakes. I don't know, but just think about this: 5 people all looking at the camera, perfect smile. Should I look at the 5 other duplicates of it? Probably not, right? But even if I go, what exactly I'm going to get, right? Like even if I double click here, right? Or if I double click here, so if you like the photo already, there's no point to do back and forth between the photos. And that's why the survey mode is so effective, because you don't do that. Now, I'm talking about till now approach number 1, right? You might disagree with me right now, and that is totally fine, because I'm talking only a single approach. I have another approach that you can use to do the same thing. But in this approach, in the brute force, we don't look at the alternate if we like the face better, right? We don't look at the alternate if we like these 2 faces that are on the right side better. Then we don't go and see what is the next photo. We actually move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward. That's what we do. Move forward, quickly move forward. We don't go and check what exactly the next photo looks like. A bit of a smile, okay, then here you have to decide that. Here you have to decide that the person is not smiling enough for me, so I have to check if there is another photo in which he's smiling better. I'll pick that up, come back. Okay, so now we will see some rejects. So now when we go through, so these are the photos I rejected, by the way, but if you see photos that AI rejected initially, photos like this, where out of focus, nothing is visible, right? Totally blurry shot. If you see at the faces, kind of like uh, faces are out of focus. It also tell you that. It also tell here that it's out of focus. And you should observe what I'm doing. As I'm going through the photos, the size of the photo here is shown as 23 MB, 40 MB, but how fast I'm able to go through 23 MB to 40 MB? How fast, right? Like, so this is also good. Like the review process becomes quicker as you are using the app, because, it has the capability to actually help you out in going quicker. Now, eyes closed for this, person. And then just thinking about this one, right? It says out of focus. If we see it, the person at the back is out of focus. You might disagree for this one, right? So sometimes like this, I go quickly, sometimes scroll it a bit like this and see if I have to keep anything, right? But generally I end up not keeping anything apart from one or two photos. So like completely closed eye, looking at right hand side, mouth open, closed eye. So things like that, it rejects. The number of rejects are very less initially, to be honest, because it is very strict in thinking what it needs to be needs to reject. But you can change it when you go to customize and restart, and you make things strict. Then obviously it selects less, so it rejects more, right? And opposite is lenient, as I told you initially. Okay, so that was approach number one. And we haven't explored much of the features yet. The approach is so simple that it includes only three things. One, let the AI cull. Second, do start the review process in brute force, which means go through the photos quickly as on the keyboard. And whatever you see on the right as a face, if you disagree, look on the alternates with survey mode, pick whatever you want and come back. That's the brute force approach with some smartness. Now we will move to approach number two. The approach number two is something that does not like ask you to look at the face, or doesn't ask you to look at the survey mode in the way we did, but it says, you can open survey mode once, like for example this one, and then start with start with Control S. So go back. And then once you are here in the survey mode, just press the shift key, like keep pressing the shift key. Shift key is just the key at the top of your arrow keys. So just keep pressing the shift key and then keep hitting the arrow key. So see, I am in the survey mode. I'm seeing the duplicates right now, right? And I'm just pressing the shift key, and I'm on my keyboard, shift, and I'm just pressing the forward arrow. So as I'm pressing the forward arrow, I'm keep seeing all the images quickly with the duplicates as well. No need to go to full screen. No need to see face views. No need to go survey mode. Just press the shift key, keep going forward. Whatever you want, keep picking, keep rejecting. So I don't want this photo. X. Next. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, this looks good, good, good. I don't want this. Reject. Now, benefit is you also come across these three photos. AI picked the first one. The next two are duplicates. Next. So in case you want to change the selection over here, you just change the selection over here. So see, if you do things manually, if you don't use AI, in that case, you have to see these photo three times, because there are three. You come to a family group event or a wedding, there are like 15 photos in a single group. The AI will group them. If the AI has grouped them, you will see the entire group only once. It has already grouped it for you. So in this approach, the benefit is that you are not seeing these photos three times, but actually only one time in a one view. And you keep pressing shift and go forward, right? You keep pressing shift and go forward. And whenever you come like this, Okay, I don't like this one because the face is a bit tilted. Yeah, I like this one better because it's hugging better. So I'll just select this one. Sorry. So I'll select this one. So to select, I'll just press P. I don't want this one, and I'll go next group. So this is called you know reviewing with a group, like reviewing in the group mode. So in the group mode, when you are reviewing, you are just pressing the shift and then you are using the arrow key. So look at this, right? If you have a fear of missing out and you want to check every single selection, the best way is to just press shift and keep going. Just press shift, keep going. You will see all the photos, but at the same time, you don't need to see all the photos in terms of going every photo by photo. It groups all the photos together, so you see them in a single view. Look at this, right? So you don't need to see all the photos. Now, you can obviously check. We have already checked that photo once, in the past, so we don't need to check everything here. But, the only point I want to make here is if you are having a fear of missing out, that if I'm not checking survey mode, I'm actually missing a photo, you can actually go through with the shift to all the photos like this, and you can keep picking whatever you want. Right? From the duplicates, can keep seeing what the AI is picking for you and what the AI is not picking. And then you can keep training it. You can keep making changes. That's how it learns, and that's how it makes the job easier for you. Okay, the last part. After everything is done, uh, you can export, and then you can export only to anywhere out of these 5 options. I generally prefer local folder, move option if I want to change the path, and copy option if I want to make a copy into a folder. Copy is the safest bet because if you're new to the app, you don't know how it works. You don't move photos. It's clumsy. You copy it first, and then probably as you grow with the app, you start optimizing your workflow with move. Directly click to Lightroom is the way to go for Lightroom users. But if your photos are already in Lightroom before you started using an app, go for export to XMP, because in that case, whatever your selections are in the app, they are written to a file which is XMP files, just KBs of information, metadata files, sidecar files, some people call it sidecar files, that we write on the folder. And then when you go to Lightroom, refresh your metadata, all those tags that FilterPixel did in the app, selected, rejected, duplicate. If you have done any star ratings, by the way, I missed that. You can also star rate and color rate images inside the app. That also is written to XMP, and that can be shifted directly to Lightroom as you refresh the metadata inside Lightroom. So a couple of options here to export and figure out which one suits your workflow better. Now I want to show you something very effective if you are a portrait photographer or you do portraits. There is a filter which says perfect focus, right? And high quality eyes. I think it reduces the amount of selections uh, to a very high extent, because like right now you're seeing 155 photos which are perfectly focused, sharpest images of your project. So if you want to find sharpest photos, it's one click. You can go and find perfect focus. But there is another way. Instead of reducing the number from 521 and figure out like let's say 155 photos which are perfectly focused, can I sort them on the basis of focus quality? Can I sort photos rather than capture time? Can I sort photos on how the focus is inside those photos? So when you go from focus quality, it takes it from the sharpest images, to the blurry ones, even in your selections. So there is a way to even narrow down in that way also. You have taken 521, you did it sort by focus quality, and then you started your review process. So you are seeing your best, sharpest images first, and then you are seeing the rest. So giving your time to the best images first and less time to the last when you're tired a bit, like giving less time to those images, right? There are few other options, and as you explore the app, you will find it interesting. So one of the options, which is an interesting use case, just to give you some fun element into it, is intentional closed eyes. And intentional closed eyes images, if there are any projects, is the image which has a eye closed, but at the same time the AI knows that it is intentionally closed, right? So there are a lot of moments that uh, are intentionally closed, having intentionally closed eyes. So that's the one. Then there is one with hugs, right? So hugs is an effective way to categorize photos. So some things, I learned over a period of time by developing the app or helping people out develop this app is, if I done my review process, I have few photos and let me organize it now. Like, let me see how I can organize it better. I can just select all those photos like this with shift and the forward arrow, and I can create a folder on my desktop, right? I can create a folder over here, and FP or whatever I want to name it, and then I can just take this folder and try to drag drop all these files, all these files into this folder. So just think about this. So in one single drag drop, my raw files are there into a folder, and that folder I will rename as hugs. So if you want to organize your project after you done with the review, is hugs, kisses, dance, and you want to give that to the client rather than putting everything into Google Drive, you can create folders. You can use these tags, which I use, like hugs, dancing, makeup, kisses, and then you drag drop folder wise and you organize it very well, very beautifully before you ship it as a client gallery, right? So your client get impressed in terms of like, oh, now I don't have to see where my hug photos are or dance photos are. It helps you in organization, but at the same time, it helps your clients to see galleries in kind of segmented way. So this is something, just to give you as a heads up that there's something that you can do in that way too. What more? So there are, there is filters that you can use to sort by lens and camera. Very effective for people who are shooting with multiple cameras, with multiple lenses, with multiple assistant photographers, and figure out which photographer has clicked which kind of photo. So these are some apply filters that you can use. You can remove it by, so you can go to back to selected and remove the ones that we did, and we see the 521 photos as well. Now, one confusion that everyone comes with is, hey, I have just culled it to 100 images, why it is exporting 500 or whatever. So I'll show you some ways for users who are doing star and color rate. So example, I have 520 images. I want to ship it to my client right now. I'll just select all of them, make it 5-star if my workflow is a star workflow. All of them is 5-star now. I just selected them with Command A on Mac. If you're a Windows user, it's Control A, and you select all of them. You mark 5-star. Once they're 5-star, you go to your apply filters and you say, show me just the 5-star images. So it shows you only the one that are applied as 5 stars, and then you can export only the ones with 5-star on the app, right? So this is something that you should understand, that the filters that you put. So let's say I remove one image as 5-star, right? So let's say I just make it 0. So, and I make this as 0. I don't want to export, let's say, these 3 images. So 521 selected, but out of 521, I make these 3 like no star. So I am ending up with 519 images, that I want to ship to my client. So that 518, sorry, not 519, the 518 images are 5-star. So the 518 images, I can just click show 518 results. These are the 518 results with 5-star. And then when you export, only those 518 will be exported. So just to give you a hack, or a way, whatever will be shown here in the view, like it says 518 are shown in the view, the same amount of photos are going to be exported. So if you want to export all, you go to all rather than filtering by stars, right? Remove the star filter. Now you see all 705 results. It says 705 in view. It shows 705. Your selected files are 705. It says exporting 705. Then you click and then you export. So, I mean, very simple to understand is whatever is shown in the view is actually getting exported. So no confusion in terms of what is getting exported. By the way, I love this photo. Like the perfect symmetry. I just came across this photo, so this shared. Okay, we are almost done with the demo and we'll open the stage for questions. One question is, can you browse back it rejected? Ankur, I'm not able to understand that. Can you repeat your question? Can you browse back and exchange photos too? Are you asking, can we select the photos that it has rejected? Yeah, obviously you can just press P on any photo that it is rejected, and then it goes back to your selection process. Okay, let me see if we have. Yeah. Pierre Palo is asking, 6 minutes of culling passed in like 1 minute. No, Pierre Palo, I was showcasing the project which I have just done before coming to the live. It was not 6 minutes passed in 1 minute. Does that answer your question? Okay. Ankur says very late for me, but kept here for you. Thank you, Ankur. Okay, cool. So if you have more questions, so one more question for me now. When you were showing the first way of selection and we saw the rejected photos, it had rejected the ring. So the hand was blurry, right? I don't know if it was visible at the screen. The hand was blurry, but you can take that photo back. Every time you can press the P key and take the photo back. Also, if it is a unique photo, it must have selected one out of those, right? So it's not going to miss all the ring photos, right? So if the hand is out of focus, so it has marked that out of focus, that photo. Are you still getting the audio video sync issue? I think initially it was there, but probably now it is not there. Okay, perfect, guys. So I think like most of the fundamentals of the app we are able to cover. There are definitely different things that I literally want to tell you, but I think I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of information. Just want you to go back, grasp what we have talked about, and use it the way I just asked you to do, and come back with more questions, come back with more thoughts, come back with more suggestions, more feedback. um, okay, come back with more feedback, and this way, we are able to put things into the app, because otherwise, wherever we are right now, it was not possible without the community. So just appreciating every one of you who is here today, and who is looking what we are doing, even if you are not using it today, but who are in the AI world, who are looking for tools in the AI space and appreciating whatever technologies are coming, and always moving on to the new technologies. I appreciate you to give your time. So let me see. I will wait for a bit until we have more questions. John Palacio says, all very well. Now I will have more time for my family. For sure. That is what our aim is, John. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, one question is, what if the ring was sharp and the hand was out of focus? Very, very good question. So the basics of the algorithm works like figuring out what's important into the photo. We call it like the region of interest, and then just checking at that particular area rather than the entire image. So your question was, will it reject if the hand is out of focus but the ring is in focus? Ideally not, because it's looking for the region of interest, which is what the photographer was trying to focus on, and figuring out the focus on that part only. If you think, like, there are a lot of scenarios where we have taken a group shot and at the back there are a lot of people out of focus, but at the front we're just focusing on few people. So the ideal way the AI works in that case is to figure out which people the photographer is trying to focus on, and from that particular part extracting those from the image, and then running the algorithm of AI over the top of it to understand the quality of the image. Garment asked, and the best thing is that we can use FilterPixel to edit our photos after they have been cut. Yeah, I was thinking like to do the live for both into one, but then I thought probably it would be very overwhelming for people, and we'll do like the editing live um, different, like in a different session. So show some. Yeah, I'm just showing your comments. Okay. Thanks, German. I think the live that we did with you, German, specifically on Adobe Firefly, actually, it was also very insightful for all the users, because people were really curious on how this Firefly thing is going to come into the workflow in the future. So thank you so much for doing that. Ankur is saying if 15 minutes, then do it now. Oh, 15 minutes? I don't think so. When you start, there are a lot of questions that keep coming. Ankur, we are in same time zone. It's late for me too. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking like we we have a good amount of testimonials coming out in this live somehow. Um, so we can keep chatting, we can keep going, but the idea for this live was just to cover the basic aspects of FilterPixel in general to you all, and I'm hopeful that I'm able to cover that up for you. So if you are watching this live right now, well and good. Thank you so much for coming. But for for those who are not watching, or because of time zone issues, if you're not able to watch it live, then whenever you watch it, just drop a comment on what exactly you know your feedback is on our app. Also, if this live was helpful to you, just drop me a comment in the comment section, so that we understand that we have to do more lives like that, help you more out in terms of exactly where we want FilterPixel to be, and keep collecting feedback and keep learning from you all. Okay, perfect, guys. Thank you so much for all of you who have joined this live again. And thank you so much for all your feedback that you keep sharing with us every single time. I hope with these lives, your workflow will become more effective. You'll able to save more time for your family and business with FilterPixel coming this season. Thank you so much for joining us again, and see you soon.